Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of ISRK. I am Muhammad Saifuddin. I have done my PhD in Civil and Environmental Engineering from UST-Korea. UST is a university which consists of more than 33 government research institutes. My campus was KICT, that is Korea Institute of Civil Engineering and Technology. I am from Bhubaneswar, Odisha, India. And my co-host will be Sri Gauri Hudar. She is from Karnataka. She has done her PhD from KRICT. It is another institute in UST, and she is also doing her postdoc in CRIC. And now I am pursuing my postdoc in Hanyang University. So coming to ISRK, ISRK is nothing but Indian Students and Researchers in Korea. It's a non-profit voluntary organization in South Korea that aims to collect all the Indian origin students and researchers residing in South Korea and provide them with educational, research, social, recreational, job, and community support. Our mission is to establish the largest community of Indian students and researchers in Korea with strong engagement and interaction opportunities. The vision is to promote a better life for Indian students and researchers in Korea. Can we have a glimpse of ISRK, what it has done from the last 2 years? The ISRK team is organizing free live interactive session series from February to April in this year. It conducted similar sessions last year also. These sessions are regarding different scholarship programs in Korea to help our Indian students from different nook and corner of India. Around 200 students were benefited from this initiative last year. The motive of this free interactive series is to provide benefits to maximum needy Indian students from all the regions of India who are unable to do the higher study without the scholarships. ISRK live interactive session with Indian researchers in Korea will provide detailed experiences to know more about the application process, eligibility, research field, as well as selection procedures for programs like BS, MS, PhD, postdoctoral, MBA, international finance, Korean language program, and etc. in Korea. The 10 sessions on different scholarships will be organized or is being organized this year with scholarship recipients. So in this session of UST session, all the panelists are those who have already won the UST scholarship program. Me being a UST awardee, and our co-host Sri Gauri Hudarji also is a UST awardee, and the panelists are also our UST awardees. And in this session, these sessions are also done in order to avoid, in order to help you, all the Indian students, to fall prey to people who are trying to making fake promises to provide you scholarships or PhD positions in Korea. If you are going through these sessions, then you are good to go to apply for scholarship programs without contacting anyone else. So I will now hand over the session to Sri Gauri Hudarji to move the session.
Thank you, Saifji, for introducing me. Hello, everyone, and a very good afternoon to all Indian viewers, and very good evening to all South Korean viewers. I'm Sri Gauri Hudar. I'll be your co-host for today's session and live interaction. So let's start our today's live interaction with our first speaker. But before I call upon our first speaker, I would like to bring to you all a kind notice that UST last deadline for application process is April 6th, 2022. So still you guys have time. If anybody is interested to apply for master's or PhD program in University of Science and Technology, you can do it right now after our live interaction session. So to know more details, I request all of you, please be connected with us till the end of today's live interaction session. So now I call upon Sandesh Nayak, PhD student from UST Crit School. So he will give brief introduction about our university, that is UST, University of Science and Technology. He will let us know about the scholarships, benefits given by UST and everything. Please go ahead, Sandesh ji.
Thank you for the introduction. Can I share my screen? Is my screen visible now?
Yes.
Yes. Good evening. Myself, Sandesh Nayak, and I am from the Karnataka, India. I recently joined UST in February 2021, and currently working in Korea Research Institute of Chemical Technology as a PhD student. Before coming here, I worked in Syngin International Limited for 4 years as a research associate and discovery chemistry department. And today I will give brief introduction about University of Science and Technology in Korea. And here we can see here, this is the website link for the University of Science and Technology, that is www.ust.ac.kr. When it comes to where it is located, and we can see here that is UST is located in the Daejeon.
Sanjay, just may you can do the full screen.
Is this not full screen?
Yeah.
Now? Is my screen is visible now? Full screen? No?
No, maybe do some display settings or like cross the sidebar or something.
Is it visible now? Full screen?
No.
No?
Just next slide is also visible. So just start with initial one, and no need to give the full, yeah. You can go ahead
I
with
think
this.
this is better. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. When comes to where it is located, it is located in the Daejeon, and headquarters is in the Daejeon of South Korea. And total 33 national research institutes are with the UST, and these are the separate research institutes for different specialization. In this, major 21 research institutes are located in the UST and located in the Daejeon, and other remaining 10 institutes are located in the other cities of the South Korea. And when comes to the position and identity of the University of Science and Technology, here we are working in the National Research Institute based graduate university. And when comes to the UST students, they are also graduate students as well as the researcher. And here professors also work as a researchers and also work as a researchers.
Sandesh, slides are not visible.
Really? Oh, why is it? Now?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, okay. Here, UST students are working as a graduate students as well as a researcher. And UST professors also, professor in a UST school as well as a researcher in their respective research institute. And they were combined together to make a graduate university as well as a research institute. Here we are getting the education plus we will get the research experience as well, R&D background as well. And here we can see we are utilizing the National Research Institute infrastructure for higher education so that we can participate in the national R&D projects as well as we can utilize the National Research Institute infrastructure to get better exposure on the projects. And when it comes to the accredited degrees, UST provides 4 different types of the accredited degrees that are master degree, internships, and integrative programs, as well as the doctoral degree. Master degree is of 2 years, and when it comes to the internship, it is of 3 to 6 months. Internship programs also is there, and integrative program is including masters plus PhD. It is of minimum 5 years program, and when it comes to the doctoral degree, it is a minimum of 4 years. 4 years it will take to complete a doctoral degree. And when it comes to how to apply, there are 2 rounds of the application for the UST in 1 year. For two different semester, that is spring semester as well as the fall semester. For this both online application is available as well as offline application is available. Offline you have to submit through the post, and online you have to submit through we have to go admission link and you have to apply through online. And for spring semester intake is in the August, and for fall semester intake is in the February. You have to come to Korea on February for fall semester, and you have to come for spring semester in August of the year. And for this deadline of the application, this is the application deadline. That is, the application is opened on the March of this year, and application deadline is the April 6th. And when comes to the fall semester, usually online application is open in September. and it will be a 20 days of they will give 25 days of timing. So once it open, usually it will open in the September. And when it comes to the tuition fee and scholarships, you have to pay 2.5 million Korean won tuition fee for the coursework, and and no need to worry about the tuition fee. This tuition fee will be provided by the research institute, uh, research institute research institute. And also we can see here for master's and PhD degree, the UST is providing different amount of scholarships. For master degree, they will provide 1.2 million Korean won per month as a scholarship, and plus they will give full tuition fee. Means this tuition fee you are getting from the research institute. When it comes to the PhD degree, you will get a minimum 1.6 million Korean won as a stipend, and plus your tuition fee will be paid by the research institute. So here you no need to worry about the tuition fee. And although all research institute have the total 33 research institute is there, total in 33 institute, they are having the different type of the stipends. In this, you will get minimum for PhD degree 1.6 million, and for master's degree minimum is the 1.2 million. So, and also you are covering the tuition fee. This is the major important thing we can see here, where you no need to worry about the tuition fee. And once you complete your coursework, you no need to pay tuition fee, and plus, but instead of, and also you will get the tuition fee for till your graduation is completing. Till that day, you will get the tuition fee. So that is a one added benefit. Once for PhD degree, coursework timing is 3 to 4 semester, and for master's degree, 2 years you have to do coursework. And when it comes to the integrative, you have to do total 3 years coursework. It means 6 semester. And when it comes to the other benefit of the UST will also provides National Health Insurance Scheme. In this scheme, in National Health Insurance Scheme that provides benefits in kind as well as in the cash for the prevention of diagnosis and treatment of diseases, injuries, etc. This is very important for the foreigners, those who comes to the Korea, to know about the to cover up the health benefits. And they're also conducting yearly once general health checkup. That is also free of cost they are doing in this scheme, National Health Insurance Scheme. And so this is a good initiative taken by the UST. And second one benefit is the young research scientist benefit. This one we will UST students can get this opportunity after completing the coursework. Those who can apply for this. For this, you have to write a research proposal and you have to present to UST. If UST like this proposal, they will give grants or they will give grants to conduct your research, your own research. And third one is the student exchange programs. This is the 3 months program for the UST student to work with other research institutes. For this also, you have to get the permission from your professor. If you want to explore more on the more on your research, you can search other institute which is which is like to do same work, and you have to send a research proposal to a professor which is the research proposal for the institute, and then you have to discuss with your professor also as yours also. And if both are agreed, you can go for this opportunity, student exchange program opportunity. And also I explained about internship previously in previous slide. That is a 3 or 6 months internship program. And also UST is paying international conference, and paying for means you can attend the international conference or seminars, but all the charges is covered by the UST. They will give all the expenses like room expenses, air travel, everything is covered by the UST. And this, another one added benefit is that for those institutes which are giving the labor contract they are doing the labor contract with the researcher. For them, this is a labor contract severance pay after completing the degree they will get. This is the severance pay. Means this is a lump sum amount you will get during the completion of your degree. After completion of your degree, this is another added benefit of the UST. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Sandesh ji, for brief and overall introduction about UST and the institution which come under UST and the programs which are conducted by UST and all the benefits, scholarship details, everything you have covered. It was really helpful for our viewers. So now I would like to call upon our second speaker of today's live interaction session is Nilesh ji. He is a master's student at KIST. So Nilesh ji will let us know about how to search the particular departments in the UST and the research areas and our research interest and how to contact the professors and other website details of UST. So over to you, Nilesh ji.
Okay, thank you, Sri Gauri. So my name is Nilesh Vastav and I am currently pursuing my master's degree from Korea Institute of Science and Technology Information. So I have recently joined this institution. So this is my first semester in this. Now I'll walk you through the UST website. Okay, as explained by Sandesh that this is the UST website, ust.ac.kr. So once you open this website, then by default it opens in Korean. So most of you may, almost none of you is familiar with Korean, so you have to change it into English. So here you can go and click on this. So this website opens in English like this. Now you must be interested in finding the majors and institute associated with UST. So that can be done by going here. So once you go to major part, then you will get these option campus list by map that has already been shown by Sandesh in his PPT. Then you will get campus list by name. So once you open this campus list by name, then you get all the institute that are associated with UST. So you will get a name of all those institutes. So suppose you are getting Agency for Defense Deployment, Korea Polar Research Institute, and all these institute. So suppose you are opening this Institute of Basic Science, then you can just click on that view icon and you will go here. So you will get a basic introduction about that institute, what it is for and what are they doing in this institute. Then you will also get the major subject that is being offered by this institute. This is one way to find the major for any particular institute. Another way is that you can go here and you can click on this major by list. So once you click on this, let it open. Okay, so here you will get all the major offered by UST across all the institute. So you will get a list of these. So suppose this is first major is AI robotics. So you will see that this is the major and which institute is providing this major. So Korea Institute of Science and Technology, KIST, is providing this major. So suppose you are interested in this major, then you can just view it. Okay. Once you go here, then you will get all the professors that are working under this major. So you will get a list of all the professors. So now you want to know that what are the research interest areas of these professors and what are the work they are doing these days and what are their previous works. So just to check that, you can go on this view icon and click on this double dashes. Then you will get the recent works of those professors, recent 5-year works of those professors. So you can see it from here. Okay. Now if you also, you will see that these majors are basically the research interest of these professors. So by what is your research interest, and by using this page, you can find the research interest of the professors and you can get the professors who share common research interest with you. So if you want to contact these professors, then you have to just click on this icon. It will redirect you to another page. So here you have to verify some CAPTCHA. So once you have verified these CAPTCHAs, then you will get their mail ID. So if you want to contact them, then you can mail them on their mail IDs. So this part is that how you contact to professors, and what are the materials of your email while contacting to professors will be covered by the next speakers. So this is the brief idea about how you can find all the majors offered by UST, and what are all the professors that are associated with any particular major and institute, and how you can find their common research interest. So this is how you can do it. Okay, this was from my side.
So Nilesh, is that
Yes.
fine? Okay. So thank you, Nilesh for explaining in detail about how to select the department, professors, and major research areas and research interest. Hope this will be very helpful who are about to apply for UST PhD or master programs. So now I would like to call upon our next speaker, Ms. Kabyashri Sonowal. She is a PhD student at IBS. So she will explain about how to write the covering letters to professor and what are the documents required for application process and other steps. So please go ahead, Kabyashri.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. So I will now explain about the initial process of application to UST. So with UST, there are generally two ways in which students come here. So the first way is they contact the professor and they are accepted by the professor, and then they proceed for the online application. Or the second way is they just apply online without contacting the professor. So like what works for you depends person to person. Like personally for me, it worked out the first way. Like I contacted my professor because I had read his papers, because I have some research experience. So he was working very close to what I was working on. So I contacted him, and then I was interviewed by my professor and my center director at my center at IBS. And after it worked out with them, they suggested me to apply at UST during because the application period was a little bit far from when I talked to them. So I applied online, and then I had the usual process, and that's how I got in. So, but then like I know some friends of mine who had contacted professors, but they didn't have response from the professors. So it happens because there might be situations when the professor is not taking students that year, or so that way there is a possibility that you might not get a positive response. So in that case, you should not get discouraged, and you should still apply online. And so in that case, your application is discussed by the panel of professors, and some professor who is interested in taking students that year, they will accept your application. And like my friends, his application was accepted by a professor like this, and then the professor contacted him that I want to take you as my student. Do you want to be a part of my lab? So that also happens. So yeah, that's what I want to give the message, that you should try both ways. Do contact professors, because that helps you to get the best suited lab, and also to explore options. So do contact them. But in case you do not receive a positive response, or no response at all from professors, don't get discouraged and apply online. And there is a chance that you still might get selected. So yeah, so when you apply, so I will briefly talk about what to include in the mails when you apply to professors. So for that, I will share my screen. Just a second. Yes. This part very much depends on your major and your courses and your like your degree program, your background and everything. But I will just briefly mention the main points which should be included in your mails. So first of all, start with a very brief introduction of yourself, like what your name and just your latest degree. And then the first point you should mention is your research experience. That's skills and expertise you acquired from projects or internships. So it is from my experience, I would say that research experience is a very positive point to get accepted because here people are very output driven. So they expect you to have a certain skill set before you join their program so that you are more productive. So because so in undergrad or masters, you should always explore options for internships and exposure to research. The second part that you should include in your mails is the kind of projects or research problems you want to pursue and relate it with projects that they are doing in their lab. That way you can be able to convince them how you can be a asset to their lab. And the third point is express your interest and motivation in pursuing research in that field, like why you want to apply in their lab, and what are your maybe future plans after you pursue that degree and you learn those skills and publish papers in that field of research. So yeah, these things are there that you can keep in mind. And please keep it short and concise. Don't write long mails, just keep it to the point, and you just need to get the message through in a short mail. And the second tip I would like to give is that just go through their research work properly. Like you can go to their sites and read the publications, or you can also see do what Nilesh showed you in the screens sharing before, that you go through the website and see what they are working on in detail. So now I would like to show the next step when it comes to application. So these are the documents that you need to keep ready to apply. So the first are the transcripts, bachelor's and master's.
Not visible.
It's not visible.
Yeah, now it is visible.
Now it's visible. Okay. Yeah. So these are the documents that you require. First of all, it's the transcripts, the bachelor's transcripts for must, and master's transcripts if you are applying for PhD. And these are specially issued from the college or university administration. You have to request them that you are issuing transcripts for your application process. The second is the degree certificate, bachelor's as well as master's. And in case you haven't had your convocation and received your degree by the time the application is going on, you can submit a certificate of enrollment or a certificate of expected degree, that is the provisional degree as we say in India. So, and you need English language test score, which is TOEFL or IELTS. And you need letters of recommendation. At least one is must, and it can go to maximum 2 if you can arrange. Then you need your you need to submit your master's thesis. And if in case your program doesn't need a master's thesis, then you have to submit a proof of your degree program not requiring a master's thesis. Like for me, since I am from basic science, I didn't have a master's thesis. So I submitted my basically kind of syllabus where it was mentioned that I just need to finish these courses to get my credits. Then you need a certificate of previous employment, and then there is a proposal for study that is included in the form, and the next speaker will deal with this seventh part, which is time consuming and a tricky part. So my next speaker will take it up. And the additional documents that will really help you with your application are your research papers, if you have any, and patent applications or award certificates. So if you have these things, you should put them in your application, and this will strengthen your application. So yeah, that's from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kavishri ji, for explaining very clearly about how to email a professor, what to email professor, and the documents required for application process, and how best we can project ourselves to be in particular labs, or how to impress the professor. So thank you so much for explaining your experience. So now I would like to call upon our today's last speaker of the live interaction session, Miss Shambhavi ji. She is a PhD student at KRRI. So she will cover about how to fill the application form and the interview questions, the expenses, what we are facing in South Korea, the admission and application processes and application fees. After this, we will have a Q&A session. So now I would like to call upon Shambhavi ji.
Thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Shambhavi. I am from Varanasi, UP, and this is my second year. I have finished my 3 semesters here in UST, and I just started my 4th semester. So basically, I will be covering the part where I will tell you how the admission takes place, what is the admission schedule, and what are the questions that you have to fill, how to fill the application form, how to write an email to a professor, how to how to make him reply to your email and everything. So for this, I will share my screen. So basically, this is the admission schedule. Let me talk about it briefly. So first, what will happen? So we all know that we are right now on step 2, like they announced, like as Sandesha discussed earlier, that in Korea or anywhere across the globe, admissions occur actually 2 times. Like one is for the spring semester, one is for the fall semester. So they have announced that in the month of March, and now is the application process, which will finish 6th of April, right? So after that, you will have to wait for almost like 2 or 3 months where they will screen all your documents, and then they will announce successful applicants whom they have selected, and then the admission will finally occur, and then you will have to come here, right? So for the second part, like for this submission of application, just a second, you have to make your account on the portal, right? I tried doing that, but since we all are already enrolled here, so we cannot recreate our account, because UST, when you are filling a form, please make sure to mention your name and date of birth correctly, because these are the 2 things with the help of which your account is created, and then you will have to fill the form, or everything else will happen. And also, since your account is formed with the help of your name and your date of birth, so please be specific. Like if you do something, please take your time to fill the form and everything, because if you do some mistake, you cannot go back and correct it, right? Because only you can make one account at a time. All right, for one session. Now I will talk about the list of questions that you will face during this application filling time. Just a second. Yeah, for example, these are the list of questions which are specific every time. Let me erase this. Yeah. So these are the list of questions, and I think these are similar and same for all the session. They're still same. When I applied, like back in 2020, they were still same. Also, like if you are currently in your masters and you're about to finish your masters this July, then I will recommend to write down answers of these questions and make a file. So let's discuss about the questions. So the first question is describe your life philosophy focused on your formative years. So this question actually needs you to talk about yourself. Where are you from? What is your thinking? Like since I'm from India, I talked a bit about India, about myself, about our society and everything, like how education and how my country is. And you have to fill that form. Okay. For the second question, like you have to discuss in detail about your motivations for why do you want to do PhD in the specific institute or in that department. Because in Korea, the branch is not as strict as that in India. Like it is very flexible. Like if you are a, let's say, if you are an electronics student, you might switch to mechanical, or you can do your PhD in machine learning or deep learning or whatever field interests you. For that, you have to write like why do you want to learn this thing, or why do you want to pursue your PhD in that specific like specific major. Like for example, my major is currently transportation system engineering, which actually includes the indoor study of subway and other things. But in my masters I took environmental science. But right now my current background is PhD. It includes engineering, it includes coding, it includes basic science and all the other stuff. So you have to write all about why do you want to continue in this specific branch. Now the next question is like they have given you 4 qualities like creativity, challenge, convergence and credibility. You have to discuss like which is the closest. Like are you creative, uh, or are you like challenging? Like like if you think that you don't know this thing, like for example in my case, if I will show you my list of answers for these questions. So for the third question, you have to consider one factor, and keeping in mind which one of them is more closer to your personality or which suits you more, you have to talk about this. Okay. Now the fourth question, in the fourth question, it is like you have to talk about what you have done in your masters. What are the skill sets that you know? Like if you know some coding, some language, if you know some statistical analysis tools, or if you have done some kind of experiment, or if you have some kind of expertise, you have to talk about it. Also, this question, the fourth question and the fifth question are kind of correlated, because in your research plan you will have to use those skill sets, and you have to mention that how you are going to use that skill set, and what do you want to do for your masters or your PhD thesis, right? And the last question is kind of what do you want to do after your PhD? Do you want to do job? Do you want to continue research, or all that thing? Okay. So after, when you fill all of these questions, because even if you are planning to apply next semester, I will suggest you write down answers and keep on modifying it. And then please keep in mind to talk briefly and be very clear what you want to do in the question number like fifth, because they actually check what do you want to do in your PhD or in your masters. Okay. So I will also share my question answers, that what I did, what I wrote. Just a second. It is not a complete draft, but it is kind of my draft, like what I preferred. Just a second. Yeah. So as you can see in the first question, I talked about India, like how diverse India is, what is the condition, and how lovely is my country, where did I study for my bachelor's, and where do I come from. I talked about all those stuff. So it is totally kind of like, what do you feel about your country, what do you feel about your life. It's not like it's kind of like we do write essays and all, so just write it down. So for my like for the second question, like what do I want to do at the institute, so I will also mention that when I was applying, I emailed professor, and she actually replied and she took me. So my last question, like second last question and everything, includes the topic. Like my professor, my advisor, she was working on aerosols using HR TOF AMS, like she was working on aerosol mass spectrometry. So I knew that I have to do this. So in my research plan, I talked about it, like I want to do this, and how I'm going to use it, I talked about it. And then what do I plan to do after my PhD. It's kind of like writing an essay, so these two questions are easier. So you can see this is just a random draft. This was not my final draft. So I have written elaborate work here, because you have to like talk about what you have done in your masters, what things do you know, and what things you want to apply. So I think you guys can get an brief idea about what I want to convey here. Now we will move on to the again the PPT file which I prepared. So once you guys have submit your application, so what will happen, document screening will occur. And you can see here it is written in-depth interview. So what happens when your admission date closes, they actually go through your form, application form and everything. You have to provide your professor's email ID for recommendation letter. Also I will suggest, if you have your master's guide, like under whom you did your dissertation and everything, you should write his email ID, because they have to send their recommendation letter via their email. You don't have to submit that recommendation letter. Your professor will submit it to UST, and you can see on the website they have given admin@ust.ac.kr something email ID, and there you have to submit there from your professor's email ID. The recommendation letter should go. Okay, so they will check all those things, and after this what happens, they will give you a final result that you have been selected for an interview round. So what happens, they give you around a week of time, and then this question, based on this question, like your research plan, what you want to do in your PhD and what you did in your masters, you have to combine these two things. They ask you to combine it, like they ask you to mention how you are planning to use your master's work for your PhD work. And then you have to make a PPT, and they ask you to email that. So you will email that PPT file, and based on that they will conduct interview. So for your interview, your professor won't be present. Three different people from the same department, they take your interview, and the interview is kind of light. They ask you questions based on your PPT, based on your previous work if they want to, but it is not that difficult, it is kind of easy. And just don't panic. And after that they finally tell you that you have been selected, like kind of this, you get a certificate of admission that you have been accepted with all your major and your school and everything. And then you just have to apply for the admission registration, depending upon which institute you are, because some institute you have to pay some fees, registration fees, and then your admission is confirmed. And then the session starts from 1st of September here in Korea. I will also like to show what I email, because I will like to mention this, that Korean professors are not that good in English. Like if you are thinking that you plan to send them an email with, a long paragraph and everything, they will panic because they are not that good in English. So I will suggest keep it as simple and as light as you can. Like you can see, I just wrote almost 4 lines, like not even 4 lines. And I just mentioned my CV. What I did, I attached separately my master's, papers in doc file, so that my professor could easily copy that and check it, that if I have published anything or not. So I got a reply from my professor, and she at that time told me, like we had a lot of discussion on the same thing. So she told me that her current work is aerosol mass spectrometry. So she told me that this is the topic, and if is it okay for you to come and do PhD and do work on this. So we had a discussion on this. Okay, so if you get a reply from your professor, then that's very good, because you will get an idea to write like the specific thing in your research plan. Also, like for example, if you don't get a reply from your professor, then in that case choose the nearest topic. Like if on, like for example, I will talk about myself. Like for my work is related to air pollution, like indoor air pollution. So in my institute, I'm going to check what are the topics they are currently working on, how many professors are there, and then I'm going to make a generalized plan, that so that it won't be specific to a single professor, but it will include everyone. Like I will talk about indoor air, I will talk about PM reduction, I will talk about aerosol reduction. So I will make my plan in a broader way, and then I will fill my application form. But if you get a confirmation, then stick to the topic which your professor has mentioned, like here. So I just talked about the mass spectrometry, and also I will if a professor replies to you, it becomes easier. Also, I would like to mention one thing. There is a time difference between India and Korea. So try to schedule your email around 5:30 or 5:40 a.m. in the morning, because Korean professors, when they usually come to their office early in the morning, like around 9 or 9:10, they check their email. So you getting back a reply will be easier. Okay, so try scheduling your email according to Korean 9 p.m. time, or Korean, I will say 11:30 or 12, because after lunch they come back and they check their email again. So if they see, and if your language is very simple and easy to understand, they will definitely reply. Like most of the Korean professor, they reply. Okay, depends upon your profile also. That's all for how to fill your application. I would like to mention, it is not very difficult. Like I will suggest you guys, instead of asking someone to do it for yourself, try doing things day by day, and eventually you will finish it. Like if someone is in first year, I will suggest start writing the questionnaire and everything. Also, I would like to talk about the expenditure. Like many of you have already seen from videos on YouTube and other platform, that stating that Korea is very expensive and all. I will suggest that it is not that expensive, because if you are a student here, like UST student, no, I'm not talking about all the universities, because your salary and stipend depends upon your institute. So in UST, most of the institutes, they give you dormitory, which is very cheap. Like as compared to the apartments in Korea, the dormitory is very cheap, and you kind of get a dormitory for almost 3 years. Again, it depends upon institute to institute, but UST, most of the UST institute, they have dormitory. which costs around, I will say, 10,000 Indian rupees, and 150,000 Korean, like 1.5 lakh Korean won to 2 lakh Korean won. And also, if you move out, they give you kind of 100,000 Korean won, or I will say 6,000 Indian rupees for your outside expenditure. And like in KIST, you get refund of your fee. And it is specific to, again, it is specific to different institute, but you can actually distribute your fee in 4 parts, and you don't like for a semester there are 6 months, but you have to finish, like you just have to pay your fee for 4 months. You don't have to pay for entire 6 months. So for 2 months you get your salary. And I will say that UST stipend is enough for you to survive and save a bit. Like, I won't say it is very huge sum or something like that, but as far as I know, it is highest among all the other universities. Like, if I compare with SNU or Yonsei, there it depends totally on your lab, but because of labor contract and other perks from UST, the salary in UST is really good and enough for you to survive. So don't be stressed that how you're going to manage, because Korea is really expensive, and how you're going to manage all your fees and everything, because UST takes care of all of these things. Okay, I hope I answered your query. If you guys have any problem, then you guys can ask during question and answer session. Thank you so much. That's all from my side.
Yeah, thank you, Shambhaviji, for explaining detailed and clear information about application process, how to email, when to email, and I can understand your concern behind giving the correct information, like the birth date and everything, because our birth date itself becomes the password. So when we move on to one step to another step, we cannot go back and do the correction, because the whole admission process will take about 1 to 1.5 months. So if we are at the stage 2 and if we forgotten some information, then there will be only 3 attempts to open the accounts. So it will be a really difficult, and I think you have covered everything and all the queries. Now we will open our session for the question and answers. So participants, those who have any questions or any doubts, you can raise your hands using the emoji, or you can also drop your questions in the chat box. Our speakers are happy to help and clear your doubts. I guess our speakers have covered everything in a very short duration, and it was
So there
really
is a
helpful.
question.
Yeah. Okay,
There is
please.
a question.
Someone has raised his.
Yeah. There is no name, but
One
there
plus
is,
not.
yeah, 1 plus. There is some question. Please unmute yourself and you can ask the question.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
What are the qualification of fashion designing course?
Any of the speakers, do you know the answer?
I'm not sure if
Mhm.
like what particular course are you interested in, because UST funds only for like science, it's University of Science and Technology, so it only covers like science and technology like subjects, but what exactly are you looking for, like which course exactly, if it can be more clear?
Related to
I would like, yeah.
I want to intervene in this session. If you are also related, want to ask the question related to fashion designing or anything, then you can also ask in the our ISRK channel in the Facebook or WhatsApp group as well as Telegram, where lots of few people are there from that department or that stream. They can suggest you. And specifically, this session is like on what Kabyaji have told about science and technology related scholarship. So you can get the help from our Indian student researchers in Korea, and you can get the reply on that platform. So you can be connected with the ISRK Facebook or Telegram, and you can ask the questions there, and our team members or other Indian students will try to help you and guide you.
Sir, I would like to answer this.
Yeah.
UST doesn't have any fashion designing thing specifically, but if you want to do industrial designing and if you want to take some part of your branch, then you can divide, like you then you can apply, like you can check your major in different institute, because I know industrial designing and fine arts related some thing is done by some professors in some institute, but specifically for fashion designing, like if you are talking about NIFT or something like that, that doesn't happen in UST.
Thank you for answering. I hope they have cleared their doubt. There is one more question in the chat box. So it's from Vidya Shri. So she has a question that to become a researcher in Korea, which will be a good option to choose for master degree, psychology or MBA? Can anyone answer this question?
Sorry, what was the question again?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. You can check in the chat box. So she has a question that to become a researcher in Korea, which will be good option to choose for master degree, that is psychology or MBA?
Psychology occurs in Korean language. It comes under medical division, and in Korea, you can do medical related things only in Korean. So if you're good in Korean, then you can apply. But apart from that, I think if you want to do that, you should check in proper university, because UST is a research institute. So basically all the research related things are related majors are taken care of in UST. And for MBA, you should look KAIST and other universities. And I know for MBA, they require GMAT, and I think it is kind of expensive, and I don't know about the funding and other stuff for that. But for that, you can check specific universities' website, like for KAIST, for SNU and all the other things.
Vidyashriji, I hope your question is cleared. And I would like to add one more thing. We have recently made one live interaction session under our under our ISRK. So there is a MBA and MS International live interaction. Please go to our ISRK YouTube channel. Hope that will help you. And it's ultimately depend on you in which area of interest you have that you can do it. And we have some more questions.
We have a question from Smita Thakur. She has been raising hand. So let's take
Raise
that
hand?
question.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Okay,
raised
sure.
hand.
We have so many questions in the chat box. Okay, let's go for Smita Thakur. Please unmute yourself and ask the question.
Ma'am, is TOEFL GKS scholarship?
Sorry, can you repeat the question because you were...
Ma'am, TOEFL exam important to apply for GKS scholarship? English exam TOEFL?
For UST, like the one we are talking, yes, TOEFL is a must. TOEFL or IELTS, but
Yeah.
English score is mandatory. So IELTS is, I would for many of us, like IELTS is easier, and I think it's less expensive. Like it's a little bit more cheaper than TOEFL. So yeah, you can give either IELTS or TOEFL, but English score is mandatory. So yeah, TOEFL, if it's there, it's mandatory.
So I hope we have cleared your doubts, Smita. And can I take the chat box questions now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. So there is a question from Rashmita Senthil. Hello, recently I emailed a professor and was selected for internship. Since I am a bachelor degree holder, what type of visa is applicable for me? Apparently D4 is for interns invited by university heads or supervisor, and D2 to D5 is for students who have master and wish to perform research. So she is asking about the visa.
They will give you visa. After your admission and everything, you get D2 visa. So they will send you all the documents and everything, which you have to take it to VFS, which is Visa Facilitation Service in New Delhi, or I think they have branches all over India. You just have to take there. You have to submit your document, and I think within 2 weeks you get two working weeks you get your visa.
Thank you, Shambhaviji, for answering.
Ma'am,
I
I
hope.
have a lot of direct questions. Is it okay if I answer them?
Yeah, we have one more
So-
question. So
Okay.
after that, we will take it. So here is one question. Akshu Atri. So he has a question that while filling up the forms for university or UST or GSK program, the applications are mostly in Korean language. How can I ease that? And like recently, I was applying for university and application form was in Korean and I couldn't fill it well. So I hope you guys can answer it. And
You
Nilesh
have
ji
to
has already.
you
Yeah.
have to change the website to English. When you change your website from Korean to English, you get English application form. Like most of the universities, they do have that facility. So I won't recommend using Google Translator initially. And as Nilesh showed, you should change the website setting to English and then go for form filling. If you do that, you get English application form instead of Korean application form.
Yeah, and like if
Thank you,
it's not there,
Shambhaviji.
then go for Google Chrome, then Google Chrome will translate. And if that, even if that doesn't help, then I think you should contact the administration, because like if they are open for foreign applications, they should have an English application website. So if nothing works, you should contact the administration.
Thank you. I hope we have cleared your doubts. And if you guys have any direct questions, please you can answer.
I have that there's
Yeah.
this guy who is asking about internship. So if you want to do internship in UST, they provide internship for a month, and it happens usually during July and August, and they will release their internship for application, I think after finishing the admission application and everything. So then you can apply. So they sponsor everything, like they give you stipend, they give you dormitory, and then you can just fill. If you get selected, they will call you here. This is I am talking this is for Ankit, I think. Ankit, yeah.
Yes.
Aniket, sorry. And Aniket, this if you want to apply for UST, then I am talking about the UST process. So the internship in UST lasts for a month, and its application form usually comes after the admission process is finished. Also, because of COVID, since past 2 years, they are not they have stopped giving summer internship. So I'm not sure about this year, but if they provide, then you can just apply, and they
This
give you a stipend, so you don't have
for
to worry about expenditure.
for this year they are open. They mentioned in their website they will open for the internship.
Yeah, so it will be for a month and they will pay you and with visa and all the things. And for chemistry, you can contact Sandesha. He is expert in chemistry section. That guy is from chemistry background.
I think in this case, I think even the ISRK group can also post some information about internships when they come. I think like they give the notification on the website, but either you regularly check the website or even the ISRK group can post in their pages.
So Aniket, for the dates, I don't know, but I know usually after the admissions are over, they open the internship, like they open the link for internship and everything. And for AXA, how long does it take in Korea to complete a PhD? So basically, it totally depends upon your professor. PhD in Korea is totally dependent on your professor. If your professor is really nice, then you can finish it in 2.5 or 3 years. But if your professor is really bad, then it will take 6 or 7 years, or you might not even get your degree. So it totally depends upon your professor. And yeah, you do have to finish coursework. Every university requires some credits. So usually it is for 4 semesters. You have to take coursework. In UST, you get a chance to finish your coursework in 3 semesters. Like if you take extra credits and you can finish in 3, for PhD, you can finish in 3 semesters. Otherwise, for 4 semesters, you have to do coursework also. And you get all the assignments and marks. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Dhanashri Datta is raising hand.
Okay, now we will move to our last segment of today's live interaction session. I would like to request Dr. Vasudeva Reddy ji for vote of thanks. So Vasudeva Reddy ji is currently working in the Department of Chemical Engineering, Yongnam University, Daegu. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Just a moment. Thank you, Dr. Srikuti, for giving me this opportunity and ISRK team. Greeting everyone. I am Dr. Vasudev Reddy, and thank you for introducing me, Srikuti. And I am sincerely thankful and grateful to all speakers. First, Sandesh Naik, PhD student, and Nailish Srivastav, master student, and Kavyasri Snowball, PhD student, and Sambhavi, PhD student, for sharing their gracious words with us today and meeting on behalf of our members of ISRK and entire management group and the host, particularly Saifuddin Ji and Srigurti Ji, interaction with the aspirants for the UST scholarship scheme. We all know that ISRK is the largest volunteer-based group in Korea by the students and researcher community. In the previous year, live interaction sessions were conducted by the ISRK. Similarly, we are organizing live interaction sessions with updated information. And I am thankful to all the participants for coming here and attending the UST-Korean International Scholarship session. We have been fortunate to have a renewed identity from the academics And I am grateful to all of these participants. I am confident that our ISRK will continue to receive significant uh, provisions from diverse groups in the future. Special thanks to the Korean Embassy in India and who had supported and prized for all our efforts. I would like to thank Asian Community News Network for providing as media support for all our forums. Before I complete a wide round of appalls and thanks to all of the participants who joined this session and made it more interactive. Finally, I thank Dr. Lailish Kumarji, President of ISRK, and Dr. Iqbalji, Vice President, and all the volunteers who are the backbone of this ISRK for making this session a successful one. And finally, I would like to add some flavor to this session. Yes, like long time ago, hard work is more popular. Everyone like the hard workers. Now, the smart work is more popular. Think smart, work smart, do smart. Everything should be like a smart. That means if you want to become smart, before you should work hard. So if you work hard, then you will get a smart idea, smart things. Please work hard before coming to Korea, it means. Number two, yes, the all speakers, they provided valuable information. That means that there is like some important point, skills. I heard, like I saw in the newspapers and somewhere, the Indian students have lack of soft skills and communication skills. Some people say like life skills, some people speak like a transfer skills. Please focus on these life skills or soft skills and get more information about that. If you have this, you can deal any kind of challenge in your life. This will help you more. And as the speakers mentioned, Koreans like the smart message, small message, not to be wide message. Please make short your discussion and effectively while you are communicating. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the participants and determination to complete this mission.
Thank you, Dr. Vasudev Reddy ji, for your kind words and vote of thanks. I hope today's live interaction helped all viewers to know about UST-Korea Interaction Scholarship. If you have missed any part, please do not worry. We will upload today's live interaction session in ISRK YouTube channel very soon, and hope to see you all in more numbers in our next live interaction session, which is on Brain Pool and Brain Pool Fellowship for Postdoc in April 10th, 2022. For more updates regarding scholarships, or if you people have felt we have not covered any of your questions, please feel free to contact us through our ISRK Facebook page and our LinkedIn, Telegram, and ISRK YouTube channel. And for any kind of job opportunities, please get notification on our ISRK YouTube channel. Please subscribe us. And I would like to acknowledge my heartfelt thanks and support to our Haryana, to our all the supporters. And there is one question I would like to call Dr. Lailish ji to answer. Lailish ji.
Yeah. Thank you, Suryagarji. But like, I am really sorry that we have to take the last questions after facing this event. So I'm also thankful to Professor Dinesh Kumarji, who is the currently Dean of Academic, and he have asked the questions like, can we have signed the MOU with UST and the Central University of Haryana? So, sir, we are also working as the ISRK team. I am myself the president of Indian Student Research in Korea, and we have also signed currently the MOU with the General Consulate of Korean Embassy, Hyderabad, to just to cope up with the signing the MOU with the Indian University and the Korean University. And now we are working on that. So if you have the good proposal from your university, and we can approach from our side in Korea to UST University to sign the MOU, and we can also get the help from General Consulate of Korean Embassy from India, as well as Indian Embassy from Korea. They also used to help Indian university and Korean university to sign MOU. And till date, 5 to 6 Indian university like IIT Roorkee, IIT Kharagpur, IIT ISC Bangalore, NIT Rourkela, and NIT Warangal have signed the MOU successfully with the SNU, Seoul National University, KAIST, Korea University, as well as Inso University. So till date, MOU have been signed for particular timing, 1 year or 2 years. So further we can work on that. So that's why I have also shared email ID like president.isrk@gmail.com. For further communications regarding MOU, you can be connected and we will work together on this. So this is my answer for that. Your questions, and we will be connected in future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lailesh ji. And for more updates regarding scholarships, job opportunities, please join us on ISRK Facebook page, Telegram, Instagram, LinkedIn, and ISRK YouTube channel. To get all the updates, please subscribe to our ISRK YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.